Do you ever find yourself at a loss for words, struggling to truly articulate the depth of what you feel, or the conviction behind what you believe? Perhaps you've stood before someone you care deeply about, your heart brimming with unspoken affection, yet the right phrases eluded you, leaving a chasm of misunderstanding. Or maybe you've been passionate about an idea, a vision for a better future, but when it came time to present it, your carefully chosen words seemed to fall flat, failing to ignite the same spark in others, leaving you feeling unheard, your message lost in translation. This isn't just a fleeting annoyance, it's a profound human experience, a recurring frustration that touches our most intimate relationships and our grandest aspirations. It's the yearning for authentic connection, the desire to be understood, to persuade not through manipulation, but through the sheer power of truth and genuine feeling. What if I told you that a dialogue penned over 2 millennia ago, a conversation unfolding under the dappled light of an ancient Athenian sycamore tree, holds a secret? Not just any secret, but the very key to unlocking more meaningful relationships, to mastering the art of persuasive communication, and even to understanding the foundational elements of peace itself. Imagine a world where your words carry the weight of your truest intentions, where your ideas resonate deeply with your audience, where love isn't just a feeling, but a carefully articulated philosophy, and persuasion isn't manipulation, but a shared journey towards understanding. Our story begins in the scorching heat of an Athenian summer, 2 figures seeking refuge from the city's clamor. One, a young, idealistic student named Phaedrus, brimming with youthful enthusiasm and clutching a scroll containing a celebrated speech on love. The other, the enigmatic philosopher, Socrates, drawn not by the scroll, but by the promise of genuine discourse, by the unfolding of ideas that truly matter. They escape the city walls, making their way to the tranquil banks of the Ilissus River, finding solace beneath a magnificent plane tree, its branches offering a cool, inviting shade. It's here, amidst the rustling leaves and the gentle murmur of the water, that they embark on a conversation that will ripple through centuries, forever altering our understanding of love, rhetoric, and the very nature of the human soul. Their discussion dives into the essence of love, not merely romantic love, but love as a divine madness, a powerful force that drives us towards beauty, truth, and genuine connection. And intertwined with this exploration of love is an equally profound inquiry into rhetoric, the art of speaking well, of persuasion, but not just any persuasion. Socrates challenges Phaedrus, urging him to see beyond mere cleverness, to grasp the ethical dimensions of language, to understand that true persuasion stems from an intimate knowledge of the human soul, from a deep love for truth and a commitment to speaking it beautifully and effectively. This 2,400-year-old dialogue, with its lyrical prose and profound insights, doesn't just teach us techniques. It invites us to fundamentally rethink how we communicate, how we connect, and how we articulate the most important aspects of our existence. It asks us to consider what is the soul of rhetoric and what is the rhetoric of the soul. Now you might be wondering, and rightly so, what could a sun-drenched conversation about love and rhetoric between 2 ancient Greeks possibly have to do with an 18th century philosophical essay by Immanuel Kant titled Perpetual Peace? On the surface, the connection seems tenuous at best. Kant's work delves into the intricate blueprint for establishing lasting peace among nations, examining the legal, political, and moral frameworks required for a world free from the scourge of war. It's a treatise on international law, republicanism, and the categorical imperative applied to global relations. Yet, the mystery deepens because the very foundations of Kant's vision for perpetual peace, a peace rooted in reason, universal law, and mutual respect, depend critically on the capacity for rational discourse, ethical persuasion, and clear, unambiguous communication between individuals and between states. The struggles we face in expressing what we truly feel or believe in our personal lives are magnified exponentially on the international stage, leading to misunderstandings, mistrust, and ultimately, conflict. The ancient secret uncovered by Socrates and Phaedrus is precisely this: the mastery of reasoned, ethical, and soulful communication is not merely an art for personal relationships, it is the absolute prerequisite for constructing any lasting social or political order. If we cannot genuinely understand and persuade each other, if our rhetoric is merely manipulative or devoid of truth, then the very building blocks of peace, whether between two lovers or two nations, crumble. How can nations negotiate treaties, build alliances, or resolve disputes without a profound understanding of rhetoric's power and perils, without the commitment to truth and the ethical engagement with differing perspectives that Socrates champions? The ancient secret, then, is that the journey to perpetual peace begins not just with laws and treaties, but with the very words we choose, the way we listen, and our capacity for genuine, truth-seeking dialogue. It's about the meticulous construction of arguments, the careful consideration of the audience, and the profound ethical responsibility that comes with the power of speech, principles that Kant, in his own time, would meticulously codify into a system of universal morality and reason. The ancient discussion on the rhetoric of love thus unexpectedly illuminates the rhetoric of peace, demonstrating that the pursuit of both requires a sophisticated, honest, and deeply human engagement with language and ideas. By the end of this journey, you won't merely have an intellectual grasp of an ancient dialogue or a modern treatise. You will see love, persuasion, and your own mind in a completely new light, transformed by the wisdom of ages. You'll gain practical insights into articulating your deepest feelings and beliefs with clarity and impact, forging stronger bonds and inspiring greater understanding. But more profoundly, you will uncover the unexpected, yet undeniable, bridge between the most intimate human connections and the grandest visions for global harmony. You will understand how the struggle to communicate truthfully and persuasively is not just a personal challenge, but a fundamental obstacle to achieving Kant's audacious dream of perpetual peace. The ancient secret, it turns out, is a cornerstone for building a better world: one truthful word, one genuine connection, one brilliant idea at a time. Join us as we unravel this profound mystery, bridging millennia, to discover how the whispers by an ancient river still echo through the halls of international diplomacy, offering us a timeless guide to true love, brilliant ideas, and the enduring possibility of peace. Welcome, fellow travelers on the winding path of thought, to a journey into one of philosophy's most profound and beautiful dialogues. Today, we're not just opening an old book, we're stepping into an ancient conversation that feels as fresh and urgent as tomorrow's headlines. Forget the dusty academic tomes, the intimidating marble busts gazing down from pedestals, and the solemn weight of centuries of interpretation. Instead, I invite you to picture a different scene. Imagine two friends, Socrates and a young man named Phaedrus, not in a stuffy lecture hall, but strolling leisurely beside the Ilissus River, their bare feet cool on the grass, the shade of a plane tree offering refuge from the Arctic sun. They're about to embark on a discussion that, across millennia, remains startlingly immediate, a deep dive into the biggest, most captivating topics humanity has ever grappled with: the true nature of love, the elusive quest for beauty, the intricate dance between reason and passion, and ultimately, the very essence of what it means to speak and live truthfully. This isn't merely a history lesson, a detached study of bygone Greek wisdom. This is, I believe, a vital guide for navigating our own loud, often overwhelming, and perpetually complex world. In an era saturated with information, where every opinion vies for attention, where hot takes proliferate faster than thoughtful reflections, and where the lines between genuine insight and fleeting sensationalism blur with alarming regularity, Plato's Phaedrus offers an indispensable compass. It teaches us not just what to think, but how to think critically, how to communicate with integrity, and how to discern what is truly worth saying, worth hearing, and worth internalizing amidst the cacophony. It challenges us to look beyond superficial appearances and to seek out the deeper currents of meaning that flow beneath the surface of everyday discourse. For me, this book has been nothing short of a revelation, a transformative force that personally challenged and reshaped how I think about the most fundamental aspects of my own being: my passions, my integrity, my pursuit of knowledge, and my understanding of the human soul itself. It's less a dry philosophical treatise to be dutifully studied, and far more a vibrant, living user's manual for the soul, an owner's guide to the intricacies of our inner landscape, complete with instructions for taming our wilder impulses and nurturing our nobler aspirations. It's helped me understand that true wisdom isn't about memorizing doctrines, but about an ongoing, rigorous self-examination and a conscious effort to align one's inner desires with a higher good. It showed me how potent and perilous unchecked emotion can be, but also how magnificent it can become when guided by a clear vision and a steady hand. It's a text that demands participation, not just passive reception, inviting you to reflect on your own experiences of love, rhetoric, and truth, and to find your place within its timeless narrative. Over the course of our time together, we're going to embark on an illuminating expedition into the heart of this ancient text. We'll break down not one, not two, but three powerful and radically different speeches on the nature of love, each offering a distinct perspective that builds towards Plato's own profound insights. We'll then unpack one of the most famous and enduring metaphors in all of Western philosophy, the iconic allegory of the charioteer and his two-winged horses, a vivid image that captures the eternal struggle and potential harmony within the human psyche. And as we dissect these profound ideas, we won't leave them stranded in antiquity. We'll meticulously pull out concrete, actionable lessons and practical insights that resonate powerfully with the challenges and opportunities of modern life. Together, we'll discover how these ancient conversations can equip us to live more thoughtfully, speak more authentically, and navigate our own complex passions with greater wisdom and grace. So, settle in, open your mind, and prepare to be challenged, inspired, and perhaps profoundly changed. Our journey with Plato's chariot begins now. Welcome to Perpetual Peace, a journey not just through Kant's profound political philosophy, but through the very nature of human connection and the ideals we strive for. We begin our exploration in an unexpected place, ancient Athens, with Plato's dialogue, Phaedrus*. Our first chapter, The Seductive Lie, delves into a speech by the rhetorician Lysias, a masterful piece of argumentation that, on the surface, appears entirely reasonable, yet beneath its polished veneer, harbors a fundamentally toxic perspective on human relationships. This is our foundation, the emotionally sterile argument we encounter far too often in our own time, presented as wisdom, but ultimately starving the soul. Lysias's speech is a clever performance. He argues on behalf of a non-lover, attempting to persuade a beautiful youth to grant him favors not based on overwhelming passion, but on dispassionate, practical convenience. His core premise is deceptively appealing. A non-lover is a safer bet, a more rational choice than a passionate suitor. He posits that lovers are inherently unstable, consumed by jealousy, prone to regret, and ultimately self-serving in their affections. They are, he suggests, like a sickness, a temporary madness that inevitably wanes, leaving behind resentment and disillusionment. The non-lover, in contrast, offers stability, genuine friendship untainted by intense emotion, and the freedom to pursue other interests without the burden of possessiveness. He paints a picture of a relationship built on calm consideration, mutual respect, and a lack of inconvenient emotional baggage. It sounds, at first blush, remarkably logical, efficient even. But as we peel back the layers, we realize this carefully constructed argument is built upon a profound absence, the absence of heart, of genuine vulnerability, of the very messy, unpredictable essence of human connection. It's a relationship designed for minimal friction, maximum convenience, and utterly devoid of anything that might stir the soul. The brilliance of Lysias lies in his ability to make this emotional barrenness sound like a virtue, presenting detachment as a form of enlightened self-control. This isn't merely an ancient philosophical exercise, it's the pervasive logic that underpins much of our modern interaction, the very air we breathe in countless social situations. Think of dating apps, where individuals are often reduced to curated profiles and bullet points of desired traits. The objective often becomes a transactional exchange. What can this person offer me? Rather than an organic, messy, often uncomfortable, but ultimately transformative connection. It's the logic of swiping right on perceived compatibility metrics, hoping to optimize for an ideal partner based on a checklist rather than surrendering to the chaotic, unpredictable beauty of genuine affection. It echoes the mindset prevalent in networking events, where every handshake and conversation is implicitly weighed for its potential return on investment, where people become resources to be leveraged rather than individuals to be cherished. This isn't just about romantic relationships. It permeates our approach to friendships, professional alliances, and even community engagement. We prioritize safety, convenience, and a clear exit strategy, often at the expense of deeper, more meaningful engagement. The relentless pursuit of frictionless interaction, the elevation of no drama as the supreme virtue, frequently masks a deep-seated fear of intimacy, a reluctance to truly open ourselves to the possibility of both profound joy and inevitable pain. The danger of this passionless reason is profound. While Lysias's argument promises safety and convenience, it ultimately delivers a spiritual famine. By consistently choosing the path of least emotional resistance, by prioritizing comfort and predictability over vulnerability and deep connection, we begin to starve our souls. We trade the potential for intense joy, profound empathy, and the transformative power of love for a steady, but ultimately flat, emotional landscape. Imagine a life meticulously designed to avoid all possible hurt, all disappointment, all discomfort. What remains is a sterile existence, devoid of the very experiences that give life its richness and meaning. This prioritizing of calculated convenience can lead to an insidious emotional numbness, a perpetual state of guardedness where genuine intimacy becomes a distant, terrifying prospect. We create a kind of personal perpetual peace, but it is a peace achieved not through resolution and understanding, but through the systematic suppression of our most vital human capacities. The paradox is cruel. In our effort to shield ourselves from potential pain, we inadvertently cut ourselves off from the possibility of profound pleasure, genuine growth, and the exhilarating, often terrifying journey of true human connection. What Lysias's speech truly exemplifies is the art of spin. He isn't aiming at truth or genuine insight, he is aiming at persuasion. His arguments, while appearing logical, are carefully constructed rhetoric designed to manipulate perception and achieve a specific outcome, in this case, the seduction of the youth without the burden of authentic commitment. It's a masterclass in presenting a flawed, self-serving argument in an appealing, rational wrapper. He understands human weaknesses, our desire for safety, our fear of pain, our susceptibility to what sounds reasonable on the surface. He doesn't directly lie, but he artfully frames the narrative, selecting certain truths while omitting others, emphasizing benefits while downplaying costs, until the emotionally impoverished option appears to be the most enlightened choice. This highlights a crucial theme for our journey: the power of rhetoric to shape our reality, to subtly guide our choices not towards what is true or good, but towards what is convenient or beneficial for the speaker. This ancient example serves as a potent reminder of how easily we can be swayed by eloquent falsehoods, by arguments that soothe our anxieties and validate our fears, even when our deepest instincts tell us something essential is missing. And so, this seductive lie sets our stage. It's a powerful and pervasive worldview, one that champions a calculated, transactional approach to human connection. But it is not the only voice. This cold, rational calculation, this fear of divine madness, will be challenged. Lysias's speech provides us with a stark starting point, a benchmark of the emotionally sterile. From here, we will delve deeper into the philosophical landscape, seeking richer, more profound understandings of love, reason, and the true path to a peace that enriches rather than diminishes the human spirit. In the philosophical landscape Kant navigated, pursuing universal ethical principles, we often find echoes of ancient dialogues, reinterpreted and refined. One such echo, surprisingly resonant with Kant's exploration of reason and passion, can be found in a most unexpected place: Socrates' first, rather infamous, speech on love from Plato's Phaedrus*. This isn't the Socrates we often lionize, the wise sage, the purveyor of virtue. Instead, this is Socrates in a devil's advocate role, challenged to outdo Lysias, who had argued for the superiority of the non-lover. And outdo him, Socrates certainly does, by painting a chilling portrait of desire as a selfish, destructive madness. Socrates, in this initial rhetorical flourish, doesn't merely argue against love, he dissects it, exposes its underbelly, and warns us to be profoundly wary. His central argument is stark: the lover, consumed by their intense, often irrational desire, transforms into a possessive wolf disguised as a shepherd. Imagine the shepherd outwardly benevolent, guiding the flock. But Socrates reveals this particular shepherd's true nature, Beneath the fleece of affection and devotion lies the sharpened teeth of a predator, ready to devour, to control, to claim ownership. The lover, in their madness, doesn't genuinely care for the beloved's true well-being, but for their own gratification and the perpetuation of their obsession. They seek to mold the beloved into an image that serves their own ego, their own desires, rather than fostering the beloved's independent growth and happiness. This is a love, Socrates suggests, that inherently seeks to diminish, conquer, and ultimately consume. This ancient warning resonates disturbingly in the dynamics of modern relationships, offering a veritable checklist of red flags. Think of the partner whose affection feels suffocating, not nurturing. The one who slowly but surely isolates you from your friends and family, cloaking their possessiveness as deep devotion, saying things like, "I just want all your time," or "They don't understand you like I do." Consider the subtle undermining of your confidence, where compliments are laced with backhanded remarks, or your achievements are downplayed, all designed to make you more dependent, less likely to stray. This is the wolf nibbling at the edges of your autonomy. Observe the disproportionate jealousy over innocent interactions, where every glance or conversation is interpreted as a threat, leading to controlling behaviors, incessant texting, demands for your whereabouts, even monitoring your social media. These are manifestations of Socrates' mad lover, attempting to clip the beloved's wings so they cannot fly, ensuring they remain solely within their possessor's orbit. The core of this possessive love, Socrates illuminates, is not genuine affection, but deep-seated selfishness, an ego-driven need to dominate and control, masked by passion's intoxicating veneer. What makes this speech particularly fascinating and ultimately flawed is the intellectual trap Socrates inadvertently sets for himself. He constructs a brilliant, rhetorically powerful argument, dazzling in its logical coherence and persuasive force, all based on a definition of love stripped of its transcendent potential. He masterfully dissects the psychological mechanisms of a certain kind of desire, cataloging its destructive potential with surgical precision. It's a testament to his intellectual prowess that he can build such an impressive case. Yet, in doing so, he becomes too clever for his own good. By focusing solely on love as an earthly, selfish compulsion, he misses the higher truth, the divine madness, the transformative power that love, in its purest form, can embody. He builds a beautiful, intricate cage for love, demonstrating its limitations and dangers, but in doing so, he overlooks the vast, open sky beyond. He succeeds in delivering a devastating critique of lower desire, but fails to acknowledge that love possesses dimensions far beyond mere gratification or control. And this, perhaps, is the most crucial takeaway from this initial Socratic performance. Socrates himself feels its profound inadequacy. The immediate aftermath of his speech is not one of triumph, but of unease. He expresses a discomfort, a spiritual tremor, suggesting that he has somehow wronged the gods, specifically Eros, the god of love. He senses that he has blasphemed, that he has spoken ill of something sacred. It's this self-doubt that paves the way for the profound revelation, for the *Palinode*, where he will retract his earlier condemnation and embark on a deeper, more nuanced exploration of love, revealing its true, philosophical, and ultimately divine nature. It is a brilliant setup, a false start that is essential for the true journey to begin. Welcome back. In our last chapter, we left Socrates in a rather precarious position, having delivered a speech that, on the surface, seemed to undermine the very nature of love, painting it as a dangerous, irrational force best avoided. He had, perhaps, allowed himself to be swayed by the superficial arguments of Lysias, speaking from a place of mere human reason and caution. But Socrates, ever the seeker of truth, would not long abide in such a flawed understanding. And so we arrive at chapter 3, the truth about crazy in love, where Socrates delivers his great speech, a profound recantation that shifts the entire dialogue. Imagine the scene: a momentary pause in the discussion, a subtle change in Socrates' demeanor. He stops in his tracks, a flicker of profound realization crossing his face. It's as if a sudden, chilling insight has struck him, a profound sense of unease that something essential has been overlooked, perhaps even blasphemed. He understands, with startling clarity, that he has sinned against the very gods of love. To speak ill of Eros, to advise avoiding such a divine force, is not merely a rhetorical misstep, it's a spiritual transgression. He feels compelled, driven by an inner imperative, to correct his error, to cleanse his soul by speaking the truth, the real truth, about love. This is the heart of his second speech, a complete reversal, a beautiful unfolding of a deeper wisdom. He begins by addressing the very notion of madness itself, a concept so often feared and misunderstood in human society. We frequently equate madness with illness, with a loss of control, a deviation from the rational. But Socrates challenges this narrow view, proposing that there exists another kind of madness, a divine madness, a mania that is not an affliction but a gift, a blessing from the gods, capable of inspiring and elevating the human soul beyond its ordinary limits. He identifies 4 distinct types of this divine madness, each a conduit to a higher truth or purpose. First, there is the prophetic madness, exemplified by the oracles like the one at Delphi. Here, individuals, through divine inspiration, gain insight into the future, their minds touched by forces beyond everyday perception. Second, we have poetic madness bestowed by the muses. This is the divine spark that enables poets to create works of breathtaking beauty and profound meaning, not merely through skill or technique, but through an inspired frenzy that elevates their craft into art. Third, there is the madness of ritual or mystery, associated with figures like Dionysus. This form of divine ecstasy leads individuals into sacred rites of purification and initiation, allowing them to commune with the divine and achieve spiritual liberation. And finally, Socrates introduces the fourth and highest form of divine madness, love. This is where he truly redefines our understanding of crazy in love. He frames love not as a weakness to be feared, nor a problem to be managed, but as a profoundly spiritual path, the soul's primary and most potent way of remembering the divine beauty it once knew. He speaks of the soul's pre-existence, its journey with the gods in the heavens, its glimpse of perfect, eternal forms of true beauty, truth, and goodness. When the soul falls to earth and becomes embodied, it loses its wings, forgetting its divine origin. But then, when it encounters beauty in this world, a beautiful person, a beautiful idea, a beautiful work of art, it triggers a profound recollection, a yearning, a sensation that causes the soul's lost wings to begin to sprout again. This is the madness of love, a divinely inspired longing, a homesickness for the true home, a passionate impulse that guides the soul back towards its higher purpose, towards the ultimate source of all beauty and truth. This perspective marks a profound pivot in the dialogue. We shift from viewing love as a capricious, potentially dangerous emotion that needs to be controlled by reason, to understanding it as an experience to be honored, cultivated, and understood as a sacred impulse. Love becomes the very engine of philosophical ascent, the catalyst that stirs the soul from its slumber, urging it to transcend the mundane and strive for the divine. It is not merely an attraction between individuals, but a recognition of the eternal within the temporal, a spiritual quest disguised as human desire. This divine madness of love, Socrates concludes, is far from an illness. It is the greatest blessing bestowed by the heavens, the path to our truest selves and our highest potential. We now arrive at Chapter 4. You are the charioteer, diving deep into one of philosophy's most enduring and insightful metaphors, the soul as a charioteer. This ancient image, powerfully articulated by Plato's Phaedrus, offers a profound framework for understanding our inner lives, our struggles, and our highest aspirations. It speaks directly to the eternal human challenge of self-governance and the pursuit of a harmonious existence. Imagine your soul not as a singular monolithic entity, but as a magnificent chariot team. At the reins, we find the charioteer. This is your rational self, your intellect, your capacity for critical reason, foresight, and sound judgment. The charioteer's noble task is to guide the team, to discern the path forward through uncertainty, and to navigate the complex terrain of life with wisdom and purposeful direction. It is the part of you that contemplates universal ideals, seeks objective truth, and strives for what is truly good, always seeing beyond the immediate and the superficial. Pulling the chariot are two powerful, profoundly different horses. On one side, we have the noble white horse. This magnificent creature embodies spirit, ambition, honor, courage, and righteous indignation. It is the part of you that desires excellence, seeks glory in a virtuous sense, defends what is right, and feels a powerful pull towards noble achievement. It is naturally obedient to the charioteer's commands, provided they align with its inherently dignified inclinations. This horse strives for what is beautiful and good, often acting as a steadfast ally to reason, though its passion can lead it astray if unchecked. However, on the other side, harnessed alongside it, is the unruly dark horse. This is the embodiment of appetites, base desires, immediate pleasures, and raw, untamed impulses. It hungers for sensory gratification, bodily comfort, power without principle, and frequently resists the charioteer's direction, threatening to drag the chariot off course or into dangerous, self-destructive territory. This horse is stubborn, disobedient, and driven by instinctual urges. Its eyes are fixed firmly on the earthly and immediate, rather than the lofty and eternal. Our lives, then, are a constant, dynamic act of managing this inner team. The charioteer's daily struggle is to bring these two powerful, often conflicting, forces into a harmonious alignment, to guide them upward, not merely across the dusty plains of mundane existence, but towards the sky, towards the luminous realm of truth, towards the divine principles that govern reality. It is a precarious balance, a dynamic tension, where the noble white horse might gallop too fast out of pride or ambition, and the unruly dark horse might bolt in pursuit of fleeting gratification. The charioteer must exert firm but gentle control, using the reins of reason to steer the collective force of these two horses towards a higher, more enduring purpose, always mindful of its ultimate destination. Let's pause and apply this powerful metaphor to our own lives. Think about your career is your noble white horse, perhaps your ambition for meaningful contribution, professional excellence, and ethical practice guiding your efforts. Or is the unruly dark horse perhaps a desire for quick money, easy success without genuine effort, or cutting corners, pulling you in a less fulfilling or problematic direction? Consider your health as your rational self, the charioteer, making decisions based on long-term well-being, discipline, and effort? Or are the immediate cravings, comfort-seeking tendencies, and resistance to discomfort of the dark horse in the lead, perhaps neglecting regular exercise or healthy eating habits? Now, turn to your relationships. Is your charioteer seeking genuine connection, understanding, and mutual respect, informed by the empathy and loyalty of the white horse? Or are the impulsive reactions, selfish desires, and passions of the dark horse dictating your interactions, sowing discord, or leading to self-sabotage? In each of these vital areas, who is truly holding the reins? Which horse is usually in the lead? This brings us to a crucial aspect of Plato's philosophy, the concept of recollection or anamnesis. When the soul, through the senses, encounters instances of beauty on earth, a breathtaking landscape, a moving piece of music, an act of profound kindness, a brilliant mathematical proof, or a perfectly balanced piece of architecture, it's not merely an aesthetic experience. For the charioteer and their horses, this encounter acts as a powerful trigger. It excites both horses, stirring within the soul a faint, yet potent, memory of the divine beauty and the perfect forms it witnessed in the true realm of being before its descent into the physical world. The soul, in its pre-existence, beheld the pure essence of beauty, truth, and goodness, unobstructed. And so, the earthly glimpse of beauty serves as a spark, igniting a deep-seated longing, a homesickness, almost for that original transcendent realm, for the divine beauty it yearns to rejoin. This profound longing, now understood as the horse's impulse directed by the charioteer, impels us to philosophize, to strive for deeper knowledge, and to ascend towards wisdom and understanding. The challenge, therefore, is not to eliminate the horses, for without their raw power, the chariot remains stagnant. Nor is it to allow one horse to dominate, leading to chaos or misguided virtue. The path to perpetual peace within ourselves, and perhaps eventually within society, lies in the charioteer's ability to harmonize these fundamental forces, to temper the unruly with reason, to direct the noble with wisdom, and to guide the entire team towards the highest good. Our journey through life is precisely this, an ongoing effort to become masterful charioteers of our own soul. Having explored the what of peace in our last chapter, Kant's moral imperative and intention, we now turn, in chapter 5, speaking to the soul, to the how. This is the art of true rhetoric. It's one thing to possess a noble intention, it's another to effectively communicate it, to bridge the gap between our understanding and another's, especially when aiming for perpetual peace. True persuasion is far removed from manipulative tactics, twisting words, emotional ploys, or overpowering an opponent. Such methods might secure a superficial victory or sell a product, but they rarely lead to genuine understanding, lasting agreement, or the deep connection vital for a peaceful society. As Socrates observed, a speechwriter who doesn't know the truth is just selling shadows. Without the bedrock of truth, their words, no matter how eloquent, remain hollow, failing to nurture true conviction or genuinely inform the listener. So, what is the core principle of speaking to the soul? It rests on a dual foundation. To be truly persuasive, you must first know the truth, and then know the soul of the person you're speaking to. This isn't a sequential checklist, but an interwoven act. Knowing the truth implies a deep, nuanced understanding, a willingness to interrogate assumptions, and a commitment to intellectual honesty. You must genuinely stand behind your message, having grappled with its complexities. But truth alone is insufficient. You must also know the soul of the person you're speaking to. This requires empathy, keen observation and genuine curiosity. It means understanding their beliefs, values, fears, hopes, and current understanding. Are they receptive or skeptical? What resonates with them? What experiences shape their perspective? This isn't tailoring truth to fit biases, but finding the most respectful way to present it, allowing them to truly hear. It's about meeting them where they are. This brings us to a crucial distinction: dialectic versus debate. Debate often aims for victory, not truth, resembling gladiatorial contests where sides outwit each other. The Socratic method, however, exemplifies dialectic. It's not about winning an argument, but discovering truth together through thoughtful questions and answers. Socrates didn't lecture. He asked probing questions, gently exposing inconsistencies, guiding interlocutors to self-discovery, allowing them to arrive at truth on their own terms. It's a collaborative journey, a shared quest where both emerge richer. The aim is to illuminate, not to dominate, fostering intellectual humility and shared wisdom critical for peaceful relations. How do we apply this profound philosophy to our modern lives amidst digital deluge and sound bites? How do we practice communication with integrity? Whether composing an email, posting on social media, or conversing face-to-face, the principles remain steadfast. First, consider your intention. Are you genuinely trying to connect, understand, and share truth, or merely broadcasting opinion, seeking validation, or shutting down dissent? Before you type or send, pause. Do I know the truth of what I'm saying? And have I considered my audience's soul? In emails, instead of stating a point, can we ask a question inviting consideration? Can we acknowledge differing perspectives to open dialogue? On social media, where character limits breed misunderstanding, can we craft thoughtful, empathetic responses for genuine interaction, not flame wars? Can we use it for open inquiry, not just declaration? In daily conversations, can we truly listen actively, intently, seeking to understand others' motivations and feelings? Can we employ Socratic questioning not to trap, but to help them explore thoughts and arrive at new conclusions together? Communication with integrity means being authentic, transparent, and aiming for connection over conquest. It means speaking from genuine knowledge and profound respect. It acknowledges everyone's journey of understanding, and our role is to illuminate a path they might choose, not drag them to ours. By embracing this art of true rhetoric, knowing the truth, and speaking to the soul, we cultivate deeper understanding, build stronger relationships, and lay the groundwork for a more peaceful and just world, the very essence of Kant's Perpetual Peace. Welcome back to our journey through Kant's Perpetual Peace. In this chapter, we're taking a surprising detour, stepping back far beyond the Enlightenment to a philosopher whose insights feel startlingly relevant to our hyper-connected, text-driven world, Socrates. We'll explore his problem with writing, framing it through our modern lens of texting, emails, and social media. Connecting an ancient Greek to our digital age might seem unusual, but his critique of static text versus dynamic dialogue offers a profound reflection on our contemporary communication habits. Socrates lived in a world largely without widespread writing. Yet, he deeply mistrusted the written word, believing true wisdom wasn't simply transferred to a page. He passionately argued that writing was, in essence, a dead medium. It lacked the life, spontaneity, and responsiveness of live, human conversation, which he saw as absolutely essential for philosophical inquiry and genuine understanding. Socrates famously warned that writing, once released into the world, is like an orphan. It's cast adrift from its author, unable to defend itself. It can't clarify its meaning if misunderstood, a common pitfall in countless text exchanges. It can't adapt to its audience or engage in the subtle dance of question and answer that true learning demands. A book, a text message, an email, they just sit there, static, immutable. They cannot participate in the give and take essential for intellectual growth and empathetic connection. Think of a sarcastic text utterly misinterpreted, sparking an unnecessary disagreement. The text itself couldn't speak up and say, "That was sarcasm." Once sent, the message is fixed, silent, and powerless to clarify its intent, leaving the burden of interpretation entirely on the recipient. For Socrates, the true art of teaching and learning wasn't about transmitting information, but about cultivating understanding, a deeper, more active process. He envisioned the garden of the mind, where seeds of wisdom needed to be carefully sown, nurtured with patience, and cultivated through living dialogue, person to person. Real teaching, he argued, was this dynamic, interactive process of mutual discovery where questions were posed, answers gently challenged, and ideas developed organically in real time within each student's evolving understanding. Handing someone a book, for Socrates, was like giving them a fully grown plant without teaching them the art of gardening. Deep assimilation and personal transformation wouldn't happen through passive reception alone. It required active, engaged, living dialogue. Now, fast forward to our era, dominated by screens and asynchronous communication. How often do we reflexively rely on a quick text, a carefully worded email, or a perfectly curated social media post to convey something significant? We spend countless hours meticulously crafting these digital messages, trying to anticipate every possible interpretation, adding emojis to soften tone, or carefully selecting GIF. But are we, in doing so, inadvertently losing the invaluable art of real, spontaneous, and unmediated conversation? Are we sacrificing the richness, spontaneity, and immediate feedback of face-to-face or voice-to-voice interaction for the perceived convenience, efficiency, and emotional distance of the written word? Consider that difficult conversation you've been dreading. Is it truly resolved by an email thread, however exhaustive? That complex philosophical concept, like Kant's categorical imperative, is it fully grasped simply by reading a summary? The subtle cues in tone, hesitations, knowing glances, comfortable silences, shared physical space, unconscious body language, these are all vital, often subconscious components of human communication, utterly absent in texts or impersonal emails. We might think we're communicating effectively, but are we truly connecting, discovering, understanding, and empathizing at the deepest human level? Are we fostering the robust, responsive dialogue that builds genuine peace, whether between individuals or nations? Socrates, despite his skepticism, wasn't entirely against writing. He acknowledged its undeniable utility as a permanent reminder, a reliable record, a memory aid, and we are immensely grateful for the written records that preserve his philosophy for us today, even if, ironically, he didn't write them himself. So, this isn't an argument to abandon our smartphones or burn our books. Instead, it's a critical invitation to discern the right tool for the right job, to thoughtfully consider each medium's inherent strengths and limitations. Use writing to remind, record facts, transmit logistical information, outline arguments, and document decisions. It is excellent for these purposes, offering precision and permanence. But when it comes to true discovery, forging deep and authentic connections, understanding another person's complex perspective, collaborating on new ideas, and truly planting transformative seeds of wisdom in the garden of the mind. Then living dynamic, responsive dialogue remains absolutely unparalleled. It is through this active, energetic exchange that we can truly bridge communication gaps, compassionately challenge assumptions, build profound empathy, and ultimately move closer to a deeper, more perpetual understanding, not just of Kant's ideas, but of each other. Let's not let the seductive convenience of the orphan push aside the irreplaceable power of genuine, life-giving dialogue. Now, we've navigated the intricate corridors of Kant's mind, dissecting the foundational principles of perpetual peace. But what good is philosophy if it remains confined to the theoretical realm? How do we make these grand ideals tangible, actionable, a living part of our everyday existence? To bridge this gap, I invite you to embark on a transformative journey, your 7-day Phaedrus action plan. This isn't just an intellectual exercise, it's a practical challenge designed to embed Kant's vision, interpreted through the lens of Plato's allegory, into the very fabric of your week. It's about cultivating the inner peace and rational discourse that, on a larger scale, pave the way for a more peaceful world. Let's dive in. We begin with days 1 and 2, focusing on the charioteer. In Plato's allegory from the Phaedrus, the soul is likened to a charioteer driving 2 winged horses, one noble and white, representing ambition, discipline, and the pursuit of truth, the other dark and unruly, embodying our cravings, impulses, and base desires. For these 2 days, your challenge is to journal for just 10 minutes each morning or evening. As you reflect, consciously note down moments from your day when you felt your noble horse was in control, moments of rational decision, self-discipline, or ethical action. Conversely, identify instances when your dark horse took the reins, perhaps a fleeting indulgence, an impulsive reaction, or a moment where inclination overshadowed reason. This practice is about developing self-awareness, understanding the internal conflicts that shape your choices, and asserting the rational self-governance that Kant championed as essential for moral autonomy and, ultimately, for a peaceful internal disposition. It's a micro-level practice in the disciplined self-rule that underpins any lasting peace. Moving into days 3 and 4, we delve into dialogue. Kant, like Plato, understood the power of reasoned discourse. Much of his work, and indeed the pathway to perpetual peace, relies on the public use of reason, on the ability for individuals and states to engage in open, honest, and rational discussion. For these 2 days, I challenge you to have at least one significant conversation where your primary goal is not to be right, but purely to understand. Seek out someone with a differing viewpoint on a topic you care about, or simply engage deeply with a friend or colleague. Instead of formulating your rebuttal while they speak, truly listen. Ask clarifying questions. Probe their perspectives, their underlying assumptions, their feelings. Listen more than you speak. This isn't about conceding your position. It's about building bridges of understanding, recognizing the shared humanity beneath differing opinions, and practicing the empathetic engagement vital for resolving conflicts, whether personal or international. For days 5 and 6, we embrace divine madness. This concept from Phaedrus refers to a state of inspired passion, often associated with love, poetry, and prophecy, an elevated state of being that transcends mere rationality. While Kant's emphasis was on reason, he also acknowledged the universal human capacity for aesthetic judgment and the sublime. Your challenge here is to actively seek out an experience of profound beauty. This could be listening to a powerful, complex piece of music without distraction, immersing yourself fully in its harmonies and emotions. It might mean visiting an art gallery and allowing a particular piece to truly resonate with you, or spending an hour in nature, observing the intricate patterns of a forest, the vastness of the sky, or the rhythmic crash of waves. The key is mindful engagement. After the experience, take a moment to reflect. How did it make you feel? Did it shift your perspective? Did it evoke a sense of connection, wonder, or transcendence? This isn't about escaping reality, but about enriching it, reminding yourself of the shared human experience of beauty and the potential for harmony that exists beyond our daily struggles. Finally, we arrive at day 7, dedicated to the living word. Plato famously argued for the superiority of spoken dialogue over written text, seeing the living word as dynamic, responsive, and imbued with the soul of the speaker. In our modern, hyper-digital age, it's easy to hide behind screens. For your final challenge, consciously choose direct human connection. If you have an important text message or email to send, perhaps one that requires nuance, conveys complex emotions, or could be easily misinterpreted, resist the urge to type. Instead, pick up the phone and make a call, or even better, arrange to meet that person face to face. Experience the richness of nonverbal cues, the immediate feedback, the shared presence that digital communication often strips away. This act, seemingly small, is a powerful exercise in fostering genuine connection, reducing misunderstanding, and building the kind of trust and reciprocal understanding that are the bedrock of any truly peaceful relationship, mirroring the essential directness required for diplomacy and international cooperation. Completing this 7-day plan isn't about perfection, it's about practice. It's about consciously integrating the principles of self-awareness, empathetic understanding, appreciation for shared humanity, and direct communication into your daily life. These aren't just abstract philosophical concepts. They are practical tools for cultivating peace, first within yourself, then in your immediate interactions, and by extension, contributing to the broader tapestry of a more peaceful world, a world where Kant's vision for perpetual peace might just move a little closer to reality. Embrace the challenge, learn from the process, and carry these lessons forward. As our deep dive into Immanuel Kant's seminal work, Perpetual Peace, a philosophical essay, draws to its conclusion, let's solidify our understanding with a powerful 3-point summary. These aren't just conceptual anchors, they're dynamic lenses through which we can continue to view and engage with the profound challenges and possibilities of achieving lasting global harmony. Each point offers a unique perspective, drawn from the essence of our discussion, designed to be easily remembered and shared as you carry Kant's insights forward. Firstly, let's embrace the idea that the pursuit of true peace, much like the classical understanding of true love, is fundamentally a ladder. It's not a static destination, but a continuous ascent, a divine madness in the sense that it pulls us beyond our immediate, often self-serving perspectives. This madness inspires our collective soul, urging it to recall and climb towards universal truth and beauty. For Kant, while his language isn't steeped in Platonic mysticism, the underlying principle resonates deeply. He posits that reason, our highest human faculty, does not merely allow us to calculate self-interest, it compels us towards moral imperatives. This moral law, universally applicable, demands that states transcend the natural state of war and anarchy. It's an ascent from the brutal reality of power politics to a higher plane of international relations governed by law, ethics, and the recognition of shared human dignity. Just as a soul might ascend to the realm of forms, humanity, through its commitment to reason and moral duty, is called to ascend towards a global ethical community, a federation of free states that respects republican principles and universal hospitality. This isn't merely pragmatic, it's a recalling of our inherent rational and moral nature, a striving towards the ideal of humanity, finally living in accordance with its highest principles, thereby making perpetual peace not just an aspiration, but a rational necessity and a moral duty. It's a journey of continuous enlightenment, shedding the shadows of prejudice and conflict to bask in the light of universal justice. Secondly, you and indeed every sovereign nation navigating the intricate tapestry of global relations are a charioteer. Your existence and the dynamic interplay between nations on the international stage demands a constant act of balancing powerful, often conflicting forces. In the Platonic allegory, the charioteer skillfully guides two winged horses, one noble and disciplined representing spirit and courage, the other unruly and driven by primal urges representing appetite and desire pulled by the reins of reason. We can interpret this powerfully within Kant's framework for perpetual peace. Here, reason embodies the rigorous application of international law, the establishment of republican constitutions that promote civic freedom and equality, and the cultivation of public reason through open discourse. This is the guiding hand. The noble spirit represents the moral duty of states to uphold justice, protect human rights, and act with a commitment to universal principles, even when it demands sacrifice of immediate self-interest. It's the intrinsic desire for freedom and the recognition of the categorical imperative. And the primal desires? These are the ever-present temptations of state egoism, the pursuit of power, territorial expansion, economic domination at the expense of others, and the inherent insecurity that often drives preemptive aggression. Kant's challenge to humanity is to harness these wilder impulses, to discipline the appetite of national self-interest with the firm reins of rational law and moral obligation. A state, like a well-guided soul, must cultivate internal civic virtue, that is, a republican constitution which then ripples outward into its foreign policy, allowing it to navigate the perilous path toward a stable and peaceful international order steered by justice rather than raw power. This delicate balance, consistently maintained, is crucial for preventing the chariot of global society from careening into renewed conflict. Finally, and crucially for diplomacy, we are called to communicate with soul. True influence in the global arena, genuine bridge building between diverse cultures and competing interests, stems not from clever manipulation, strategic deception, or the coercive power of threats, but from a deeper, more profound engagement. It demands understanding others deeply, seeing beyond their immediate political posture to their inherent worth, their legitimate needs, and their underlying rational capacity. It means guiding them through open, honest, and sincere discourse toward shared truths that are universally discoverable by reason. Kant's steadfast belief in the power of public reason and the necessity of transparent governance directly underpins this principle. He argued passionately that only through free and unhindered debate, where all voices can contribute to the discussion of justice and international law, can states build the mutual trust necessary for binding agreements, treaties, and ultimately, a federation of peace. This is communication that transcends mere bargaining. It's a dialogue rooted in sincerity, respect for the autonomy of others, and a collective commitment to universal moral principles. It's about appealing to the shared rationality and moral sense of humanity, fostering a global understanding that recognizes the interconnectedness of all rational beings and prioritizes the common good over fleeting, self-interested gains. Such soulful communication forms the very bedrock of a truly cosmopolitan world, paving the way for a perpetual peace rooted not in fragile power dynamics, but in mutual respect, shared moral commitment, and an unwavering dedication to truth. These three profound perspectives, viewing peace as a moral ascent, recognizing the imperative for reasoned balance in governance, and championing the power of soulful, truthful communication together offer an enriching framework for grasping the essence of Kant's groundbreaking essay. They are not merely abstract philosophical concepts, but powerful, practical guidelines, inviting us to actively participate in the ongoing, vital quest for a world truly and perpetually at peace. We've journeyed together through the intricate architecture of Kant's Perpetual Peace, dissecting his bold proposals for a world free from the scourge of war, built upon reason, right, and republican principles. This isn't merely an academic exercise, it's an invitation to contemplate the very foundations of our collective existence, to imagine and strive for a more just and enduring global order. But the power of these ideas, like any profound philosophy, truly awakens when it moves from passive reception to active engagement, when it becomes a catalyst for personal reflection and communal dialogue. This is where your journey and ours can deepen. I invite you now to step fully into this philosophical arena, not as a silent observer, but as a vital contributor to our shared exploration. As we navigate the complex terrain of achieving peace, both in the grand geopolitical sense and within the smaller republic of our individual lives, we are constantly faced with choices, with competing impulses and ideals. Reflect for a moment on the forces guiding your own decisions, your aspirations, your moments of conflict and harmony. With that in mind, I pose a question that, while rooted in ancient allegory, resonates deeply with the human experience across all eras. Which horse is leading your chariot this week? Is it the noble steed of reason, striving for virtue and truth, or the wild, unruly horse of passion, pulling you towards immediate gratification, or perhaps even destructive impulses? Or is it the disciplined but sometimes overbearing drive of ambition, seeking mastery and recognition? Share your story, your insights, your struggles, or your triumphs below in the comments. Your personal reflections, your unique perspective on these universal challenges are not just welcomed, they are essential. They enrich our collective understanding, offering a tapestry of lived experience that makes abstract philosophy come alive and allows us to see these timeless ideas through the lens of modern life. Your voice transforms this space from a monologue into a vibrant, intellectual commune. If this deep dive into ancient wisdom for modern life has ignited a spark within you, if you hunger for more such explorations into the minds that have shaped our world and continue to illuminate our path forward, then I urge you to take a moment right now. Be sure to like this video, letting us know that this content resonates with your quest for knowledge and understanding. And crucially, subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you become a valued member of our growing community, ensuring you're present for every future journey into the heart of philosophy. Don't forget to hit that notification bell as well, so you'll be alerted the moment we embark on our next intellectual adventure, ensuring you never miss an opportunity to expand your mind and engage with profound insights that transcend centuries. Furthermore, if this discussion around Kant's vision of perpetual peace, the role of reason, and the imperative of moral action has resonated strongly with you, consider sharing this video with others. Send this to someone you'd love to have a deep, soulful conversation with, perhaps a friend who shares your intellectual curiosity, a colleague grappling with ethical dilemmas, or a family member you wish to engage with on a more profound level. In an age often characterized by superficial interactions, the act of sharing a philosophical exploration like this can be a powerful catalyst for genuine connection, for thoughtful debate, and for fostering the kind of meaningful dialogue that nourishes the soul. Let's collectively expand this circle of inquiry, inviting more minds to grapple with these essential questions and contribute to a more reflective and engaged society. Finally, while our immediate focus has been on Immanuel Kant's monumental work, it's vital to recognize that the pursuit of peace, both external and internal, is a thread woven throughout the entire fabric of philosophical history. The profound insights of one thinker often complement, challenge, or deepen those of another. If the broader themes explored today, the struggle for self-governance, the balance of competing forces within the individual, the aspiration for an ideal state of being, and the very nature of what makes for a harmonious existence truly resonated with you, extending beyond Kant's specific geopolitical proposals, then I have a powerful recommendation for your continued intellectual journey. I highly encourage you to pick up a copy of Plato's Phaedrus. While seemingly a departure from Kant's geopolitical treatise, Phaedrus offers an unparalleled exploration into the nature of the soul, the complexities of love, the art of rhetoric, and the challenges of achieving inner harmony through the magnificent allegory of the charioteer. It delves into the internal peace required for any external peace to truly take root, offering a foundational understanding of human motivation and the governance of our desires. It provides a different, yet equally essential, lens through which to understand the self, the community, and the persistent human striving for order and virtue. The journey through its poetic and insightful pages is more than just reading. It is a profound act of self-discovery, a truly transformative experience that is absolutely worth it.